the blue light from the ancient gate exploded across the chamber. The entire underground city shook. Stone dust rained from the towering pillars as the humming sound grew louder, deeper, almost like the heartbeat of something enormous waking up after centuries of sleep. Elias stood frozen in front of the gate. Inside the glowing circle, shadows moved. Slowly, something was pushing through. The man in the dark coat immediately stepped backward. For the first time since Elias had seen him, fear appeared on his face. "That shouldn't be possible," he whispered. One of his agents raised the strange brass device they had carried down into the tunnel. The glass tubes inside the machine flickered rapidly. "It's detecting massive energy levels," the agent said nervously. "How massive?" the leader asked. The man stared at the device. "Sir, it's off the scale." The humming grew louder. The light intensified. And then the first shape appeared inside the gate, a massive silhouette, at least 15 feet tall. Its form slowly emerged through the glowing circle like a shadow stepping out of another world. Stone cracked under its weight as it moved forward. Elias could barely breathe because the creature looked both ancient and impossible. Its body resembled carved stone, but it moved like something alive. Strange glowing lines ran across its surface, forming the same symbols carved across the underground city. Its eyes burned with a faint blue light, and when it fully stepped through the gate, the ground shook again. The man in the coat whispered one word, "Guardian." The creature stood silently for a moment, towering above them. Then its glowing eyes slowly turned toward Elias, not toward the men with weapons, not toward the machines, only toward the boy, as if it recognized him, as if it had been waiting for him. Elias felt the whisper inside his mind grow stronger than ever before. But now it wasn't a whisper, it was a voice, clear, ancient, and calm. "Bearer." The word echoed through his thoughts. Elias staggered slightly. "What?" he whispered. The voice spoke again. "The gates awaken. The cycle begins again."
Behind him, the British agents were panicking. One of them raised a revolver. "We should destroy it," the agent said. "Are you insane?" the leader snapped. "That thing is older than human civilization." Another tremor shook the chamber. Because the gate had not finished activating. More light surged inside the circular opening. More movement, more shadows. The leader's face turned pale. "Oh no," he muttered. "There's more." The stone guardian slowly stepped forward. Each step echoed like thunder across the ruins. But it did not attack. It did not move toward the agents. It stopped directly in front of Elias. And then something even stranger happened. The massive creature slowly lowered itself, kneeling before the boy. The agents stared in shock. "That's impossible," one whispered. The leader's voice trembled slightly. "The legend said the guardians would only answer to the gate-bearer." He slowly looked at Elias. "Which means you're not just someone who activated the gate." His eyes widened. "You're the one it was waiting for." Elias didn't understand any of this. He was just a 14-year-old boy who had survived a mine collapse. Yet somehow, this enormous ancient creature was kneeling before him. And the voice inside his mind spoke again. "The gates connect the world. They were built before the first kingdoms, but they were sealed to protect humanity." Elias swallowed. "Protect us from what?" The voice answered with only one word. "Them." At that exact moment, the gate erupted with violent energy. The blue light turned darker, almost black. The guardian suddenly stood up again. Its glowing eyes shifted toward the gate, and for the first time, it looked afraid. From the darkness inside the portal, something else was coming, something far larger, far more dangerous. A massive claw slowly pushed through the opening, followed by another. The stone floor cracked beneath their weight. One of the British agents dropped his revolver in terror. "What is that?" The leader whispered the answer. "The reason the gates were sealed." The Guardian roared, a sound so powerful it shook the entire underground city. The voice inside Elias's mind spoke urgently. "Bearer, the gate must be closed, or their world will consume yours." Elias stared at the growing shadow emerging from the portal, because whatever was coming through, it was far bigger than the Guardian, and if it escaped into New York City, the world above them would never be the same again.
The claw that emerged from the gate was larger than a carriage wheel, black, covered in jagged armor-like scales. When it slammed onto the stone floor, cracks spread across the ancient platform like lightning across the sky. The creature behind it forced its way through the portal. The gateway stretched wider, as if struggling to contain its size. Then the head appeared. Long, serpentine, its skin looked like obsidian stone mixed with metal, and its eyes burned with a deep crimson glow that filled the underground chamber with a terrifying red light. One of the British agents whispered in horror, "That's not possible." But the leader already knew. He had seen drawings of these creatures in classified documents buried deep within British archives. Creatures that ancient civilizations had written about thousands of years ago. Creatures they called Devourers. The monster pulled more of its body through the gate. 20 feet, 30, 40. Its massive tail smashed against a pillar, sending chunks of ancient stone crashing across the chamber floor. The underground ruins trembled violently. Above them, far above the tunnels, people in New York streets suddenly felt the ground shake. Horse carriages stopped, windows rattled. Workers looked around in confusion, but none of them could imagine what was happening far beneath their city. The stone guardian stepped forward, positioning itself between Elias and the creature. Its glowing blue lines brightened across its body like lightning running through rock. The voice inside Elias's mind spoke again. The Devourers were banished beyond the gates. They exist between worlds. If the gates remain open, they return. Elias stared at the massive creature climbing fully out of the portal. "Then we have to close it," he said. "Only the bearer can command the gate." "But how?" Elias asked desperately. The voice answered, "You must reach the control seal." At the center of the platform, directly beneath the gate, ancient symbols suddenly began glowing brighter. A circular pattern appeared on the stone floor, a seal, but it was directly beneath the creature that was still forcing itself through the portal, and the monster had now fully entered the chamber. It stood nearly 50 feet long. Its claws tore across the ground. Its roar echoed through the ruins like thunder. The British agents were already retreating. "This is madness," one of them shouted. The leader grabbed the strange brass device and activated it. Electric sparks burst across its glass tubes. "If we cannot control it," he said coldly, "we destroy the gate." Elias heard him. "No," he shouted. "If you destroy it, the creature will still be here." The leader's eyes narrowed. "That may be true," he replied, "but it will prevent more from coming." Behind the creature, the portal pulsed again. Another shadow moved inside it, another devourer waiting to enter. The guardian suddenly roared. Its massive stone fist slammed into the devourer's side. The impact shook the entire chamber. The monster screeched in rage and swung its enormous tail. The guardian blocked the attack with its armored body, but the force knocked it backward several feet. The battle had begun. Stone against monster, ancient defender against an invader from another world. The clash echoed like thunder beneath New York City. Elias saw his chance. While the two giants fought, he ran toward the center seal beneath the gate. The ground trembled with every movement of the battling creatures. Chunks of stone fell from the ceiling. The British agents had taken cover behind pillars, watching the chaos unfold. "Sir," one of them said nervously, "the boy is heading for the seal." The leader watched Elias carefully. "Let him." "What?" "If he truly is the bearer," his eyes gleamed with calculation, "then he will show us exactly how the gates work." Elias reached the glowing seal. The symbols across the floor reacted instantly. Blue light surged upward around him. The voice inside his mind spoke again. "Place your hand on the seal." He did. The moment his hand touched the stone, the entire underground city seemed to awaken. Symbols across the walls lit up like stars. Energy flowed through the ancient structure. The gate behind him began to tremble. But the Devourer noticed. Its crimson eyes snapped toward Elias, and it lunged. The Guardian intercepted it just in time, slamming into the creature and pushing it away from the platform. But the monster was stronger, far stronger. It bit into the Guardian's stone shoulder, tearing chunks of rock away. The Guardian staggered, and Elias realized something terrifying. Even the ancient defender might not survive this fight. The seal beneath his hand pulsed again. The voice inside his mind grew louder. "Bearer, command the gate." Elias closed his eyes. The symbols flashed across his thoughts like a language he suddenly understood. He whispered the words instinctively, words older than any human language still spoken on Earth. And slowly, the gate began to close. But inside the portal, another Devourer was already forcing its way through. If the gate did not close fast enough, two monsters would soon be inside the chamber, and nothing beneath New York City would be able to stop them.